K-Rock 955, Tom and Loggy, and very excited to have this next guest on the show via Zoom as well, so we get to see his beautiful face. Nat's What I Reckon, absolutely viral. He's a comedian, he's a mental health advocate, he's a rock musician, and he's a chef. Well, he's a cook, and he joins us now. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Dude, pleasure.
Exciting.
How many feathers can you get in your cap, my friend?
Exactly.
Yankee Doodle.
Dude,
Yeah, I've got got a bit going on at the moment.
yeah.
Yeah. You also, just before we got into this interview, whipped out the recorder. And that's not a nifty innuendo name. That's an actual musical instrument. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
that's that Rudolf Steiner schooling paying for itself right there.
Funny. Are you going to start interjecting that into your cooking as well?
Yeah, it makes its way in quite often. It's part of the music that I write for the episode. And, yeah. It's hard to argue with how hilarious recorder sounds, particularly when it's played poorly. So I try to play as much terrible recorder as I can.
Amazing.
But you know, I like how on Anchorman, when he goes to play the Yaz flute and he drinks up through the flute, like that's what I mean. You're going to like, okay, now we're adding some sauce. Whoosh,
Stir
shoot
with it. Stir
shoot
with
it
it.
out of the
That's
recorder.
not a bad idea.
Yeah.
It's a great idea. Yeah, I think so.
How did you go from being in a rock band to or just getting to the making of the videos and cooking and going viral like that? Because I've done cooking for my friends and I pretend like I'm on a TV show, but I never thought to record it, mainly because we were blind and we just got home from the pub. But
And it's terrible viewing.
yeah, how did you get to that point, or the point you're at now anyway?
Well, I've been making videos, like comedy videos, for a long time. I'd more recently, before the cooking video adventures, have been traveling the United States, going to places like Roswell and stuff, like reviewing hilarious alien museums and, you know, pretend Area 51s and going to boat shows and trade shows and stuff, and just kind of having a laugh at some of the absurd things around the planet. But, in terms of the cooking thing, that kind of came to be as a result of the lockdown, the COVID lockdown. We were back in Australia. I was actually planning to head back to the States. But, obviously we got locked down, and I'd do as I usually do, and that's cook a lot and swear a lot, and turned that into something else. I was like, well, I've played around with cooking videos before, but I was like, I had a lot to say about people buying these jars. I'm trying to watch my language here. These jars of sauce, and like, you got all this time, and there's no one touching the fresh food section, as if the coronavirus isn't the fresh food or something. So I kicked off a routine there that seemed to go well.
And I absolutely loved it. Also because, you know, you slap the chicken or whatever, or you slap things, you're like, here, check this out. And so it's really, you know, I getting involved, like, yes, slap that chook. But also, it's good to see you with your hair out. The thing is, I've got long hair. It's probably the same length as yours. I also have a dog. He sheds a lot of hair. We have hair in all of our food, right? Unintentionally.
Yeah, I got 2 cats.
Okay, right. So you get it. So do you just kind of, is it bad for me to just kind of eat on whenever I find a dog hair in my food? Is that considered bad?
No, there's a certain stage where you just kind of got to lean into the amount of like fluff in the house. You know, we have 2 ragdoll cats, and you couldn't get a more intense level of fluff and fur and hair. The vacuum cleaner, the pet sweeping vacuum cleaner, has can't decide who's causing more trouble, my hair or the cat's.
Yeah.
Hey, you do have the luscious locks, and you're quite the handsome man. I don't know if you've heard, but I certainly personally have on my Instagram quite a few female friends who froth Nat's What I Reckon. Have you found it a bit weird becoming a bit of a sex symbol?
Oh, really? I didn't know.
It's all the chook flapping.
It's I don't know. There you go. It makes me making me blush. I've had some quite a few marriage proposals over the years.
Yeah.
The last couple of years. It's been pretty funny.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I've never met you before. Will you marry me?
Sure, why not?
Yes, indeed. Well, look,
I'm flattered.
yeah, well, good. No, because everyone's talking about you, mate. I guess the thing is, we've got a tour that's upcoming next year. People are going to start throwing their undies and that at you. Are you ready for that? And the second question, are you coming down to our way in Geelong?
Yeah, probably. I think so. We cover a lot of ground. The last tour we covered a lot of where we could, really, intermittently across Australia. Yeah, it's all going to kick back off in February, and I'm ready.
Yeah, right.
As long as no one throws a jar sauce at me, I should be right.
Well, the book is Nat's What I Reckon, Death to Jar Sauce, Rad Recipes for Champions. Now, it was released yesterday. Hey, there we go.
Hey, very nice.
Yeah. What do we find? What are we going to find in there?
We're going to find a lot of swearing
Yeah.
and a lot of awesome recipes that I reckon you're going to want to eat.
Yeah.
The thing with a lot of cookbooks is they're great, but this one's quite strange. It's like every episode of a show is a recipe, or it's all illustrated like a comic.
Yeah.
But in the language that I would use in an episode. But I've picked all these dishes that you might I reckon people are going to want to eat, and I've been reading the comments and kind of engaging with people and seeing what people want to eat. And, I reckon this is like a classic hits menu where everyone's kicked a goal, ticked a box. So I reckon it's a good time. And even if you're not going to cook something, I reckon you'll probably get a good laugh.
Yeah.
And be very entertaining. Book. Yeah.
Well, you got Christmas covered because
Yes.
you got the board game, you got the book, right? You got the tour coming up. You've got so it's all happening. I guess you're talking to us now. The listeners can't see, but behind you, you've got a billboard that says Colgate beef lasagna. Is that the next thing that you're bringing out? Beef toothpaste? What's happening?
I'm fascinated with how that was ever a thing, but apparently it was. Colgate beef lasagna. I have no idea what's gone in that, but let's hope.
Yeah, far out. All right, mate. Well, look, we can't wait to hopefully get you down here. Do you do cooking in the stage show, or is it a bit of stand-up?
Well, we've done a kind of little bits of cooking and little episodal things, and it's a kind of in the works at the moment. But
Yeah,
I'm
nice.
hoping to do a little bit of keep it quite dynamic on stage. So
Yeah, nice. All right, well,
I'll keep you posted.
yeah.
Good.
Come down, and then you can do some cooking come into the show and do some cooking in the studio. We can do a bit of a
All right, I'll make you beef lasagna with Colgate.
Oh, I'm keen.
and that's what I reckon. Death to Jar Sauce, Rad Recipes for Champions in all good bookstores now. And that's what I reckon. Thanks for your time this morning, mate.
Thanks for having me. You guys are legends. Thanks, bye.
Fresh Daily with Tom and Loggy on K Rock 955.